Hey guys, it's rainy night on Earth, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning right now. And I actually recorded a video about this yesterday, about the same time. But unfortunately, my recording was shit. My Dead by Daylight gaming recording was really bad, and I finally played around with the settings of OBS Studio again, and I finally managed to fix it, and it looks much better now. So I thought I also had troubles trying to talk and trying to tell my story while I was playing the game. And I think I'm probably gonna chuck some clips of that later into here. But it was really kind of shit. It took me all game to try and tell my story, which is like 2 minutes long. And I didn't even finish by the time I was done. It was a 16-minute long video. Like the game went for 16 minutes and I died at the end of the game. And still at the end of the game, in the end game lobby, I was sitting there telling my story and finishing it. So instead of that, I thought, I'll just do a really quick casual commentary because I used to enjoy videos of people like German985. And I say people like, but actually that's my only real inspiration for making this right now. Because that's like, his casual commentaries were some of the best. And although I'm not really as funny as him, I think I just want to tell my story. I want it to be out there. Because I like to talk about scary things. You know, I play Dead by Daylight. I play a lot of horror games and I watch horror movies. And, I mainly only watch horror movies. Because, I'm not really too interested in much other stuff. I play Call of Duty here and there. And I used to play RuneScape a lot. But actually, my story involves RuneScape, so I'll come back to that later. But I also like Assassin's Creed. But all of that aside, honestly, horror is my favorite genre ever. So I thought I would just tell you about the scariest moment of my life. Something scary which really happened. And I'm making it seem like it actually happened as if I saw some shit. But I didn't see anything. But it was just a scary experience. This happened when I was about 11 or 12 years old. Maybe even late 10 years old. But I'm pretty sure like 11, I think. Or 12 years old. Because that's when I used to live at our old house. I used to live with my parents in St. Kilda. And maybe if you're from Melbourne, you might recognize that name, St. Kilda. It's really close to the city and it's got a really nice beach. So it's a really famous neighborhood. And it's even got an AFL team named after it. And if you're not Australian, AFL is Australian football. So I used to live in St. Kilda East, actually. And this is when, I used to go to school, and I'm an only child. And I used to go to school, and then, as we call it here, primary school. And by the time I would get back home, it'd be, evening time, and my parents would still be working. And I was just an 11, 12-year-old boy. And I would just come inside my house, and I really enjoyed playing RuneScape at that time. And, at the time, this was probably 2010, or 2009 or 2010. So, old school RuneScape came out in 2013. So it wouldn't have been old school RuneScape. It was RuneScape 2, even before RuneScape 3. So it was RuneScape 2. It's like, it was around the time where there was like GDN noobs walking around. There was PKing, and there was, like, it was an amazing time of RuneScape actually. I actually prefer it more than 2007 Scape because I never really got to play in 2007. I started playing RuneScape in 2009. Or 2008, I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, I would come home every day and it would be evening time, and these days, like at that time, I used to play RuneScape like up to 8 hours a day. And it was quite a long time that I used to play, that RuneScape used to be the only game I used to play. After I got into Club Penguin, and I got into computer games, and then I got into RuneScape. And I even played Moshi Monsters before Club Penguin, if anybody ever played that. So I like these computer games, and that's how I got into RuneScape. And I would come home every day and sit there and just play RuneScape all night, you know. And you know, in primary school we didn't really even have homework, so I was just literally sit there and play that game until my parents came home, we had dinner, and then I would play some more, and then it was time to sleep. And this was my daily routine for a couple of years. And so this one day I came back, and we used to live in a pretty old building. St Kilda East, like I said, it's near the city, so there's a lot of old buildings, you know. It's part of the city. So this one house that I lived in, it wasn't a freestanding house. It was sort of like a unit sort of area. I don't even know what you call it. It's not really like an apartment in a building, but it was like it was a building, a couple of stories high, and you know, there's people living there, multiple people. And this one day I came back, and I always felt sort of like, since I was into horror, I was sort of still, you know, I had my mind filled with these kind of things a little bit. So at the time I was a little kid, so I didn't really think about it as much as I do now. But I came home and I always sort of felt eerie in that house because it's such an old house, and I was just this little kid there alone. And luckily it was a small house. It didn't have like 10 different rooms like a fucking mansion or something, because that would be even scarier. So I walked into the house, and okay, just a disclaimer, this is not going to be as scary as you think. Some people are, like I said before, like some of you might think I'm going to pull out some really scary story, but this is more so my own experience, my casual commentary. So as soon as I walk into the house, we have this long corridor, and then there's bedrooms at the end of the corridor, there's a kitchen to the left, and in the middle of the corridor on the wall there were two big opening glass doors, and they were really heavy and big, and you know, it would take a little bit of pressure to really push them open. And at that time we used to keep like a little door stopper under the door as well, so that, you know, insects or wind doesn't come in. And actually there's no chance that wind would directly be hitting my house, because we lived in a suburb and we didn't live that close to the city. And it was sort of like you had to walk into this little housing area to get there. So there was a lot of topography, and I don't think wind was really a factor in this. That's what really makes this a little bit creepy and weird for me. And I probably shouldn't be talking about this at 2 o'clock in the morning, because it's kind of freaking me out again, but okay, I'm just gonna tell the story anyway. So I walk into the house. I didn't see anything during this whole thing, but I did my regular routine, got changed, sat at the computer, which was inside the living room, which is past the glass doors. And I would always keep this shut because my computer was facing the wall and in the corner, and that means the doors were right behind me, a little bit to the right, to the left of me. And so it's sort of like, I'm sure like all of you can agree with me that you don't want your fuck man, like as I'm saying this, I'm telling you that we don't want our backs to be against the door, and my back is against the door in my room right now. And so that's why I kept this door shut, or rather these two doors shut, which they open together like a big double door. And so I shut the door, and I was sitting at my computer and I was just playing RuneScape, when all of a sudden the doors just burst open and smashed against the walls. And the glass didn't break or anything, but it was sort of like, it really felt like someone shoved it open, you know? It wasn't like wind or it just cracks open, like, you know, like if it's wind, you know, even if it's sort of like you haven't shut it properly, it wouldn't just slam open, you know? It would sort of like, you know, the creepy fucking sounds that you hear in movies where like the door slowly opens? It wouldn't have been, if it was wind, it would have been like that. But in this case, the doors just slammed open like someone kicked it or barged into the room. And when I looked behind me, there was nobody there. And I got like hairs at the back of my neck standing up right now because it's freaking me out right now as well. But I looked behind me and nobody there. Empty house, my parents weren't home yet. No siblings, I was alone. And these two doors, heavy glass doors, had slammed open, and they were sort of like, I don't remember if they were sort of swinging or whatever, but they definitely slammed open, and I had like, you know, the scariest moment. It's like a jump scare. Can you imagine being a 10, 11, 12-year-old kid and this sort of thing happens to you? And I don't really remember what I did after that. I must have called my parents and explained things to them. But, you know, a lot of the memories around that time, I've sort of forgotten because I was, like I said, I was sort of on autopilot, just living my life, doing a routine. But this one experience really stuck with me, and till this day, I actually, you know, I'm freaked out by this. And, you know, I have another story as well, which actually happened before this in a different house. But I think, and that was actually a very scary moment as well, but I'll tell you that it's not really creepy. It sort of just involves, like, I'll tell you in the next video. But until then, why don't you tell me some of the scariest moments that you have experienced in your life, childhood or not, recent or really past. Just tell me if something really unusual has happened to you that you can't really explain. Because this experience that happened to me, I used to watch a lot of shows with my parents about like horror, things like that, and people explain this like wind, but I am 99% sure this was not wind. I don't know what could have caused it, but I'm 99% sure this wasn't wind. That's what makes it really creepy. So yeah, thank you for watching. Tell me in the comments if you had experiences like this or anything similar or anything scary. The scariest moments of your life. Tell me in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Like my video, subscribe, and hopefully I'll continue to make some Dead by Daylight videos. And I really want to take this seriously. I want to take it up as my main hobby, and I want to make tons more videos. I want to upload more, maybe a couple of times a week, and build up from there. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and like my video, and you know, it's really gonna help me out because I'm a starting channel. So thank you for everything. And my phone just fucking vibrated, which I don't know if you could hear, but that scared me because I'm already in this mindset. So I'm just gonna get out of my computer room, go into my bed, and try to sleep now. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. God bless. Good night.